What's up, guys? Welcome to Daily Dose of Reddit. This is your host, Zach, and today's subreddit is r/ChoosingBeggars. Alright, this story's called Lady Needs a Discount. Got my first proper Choosing Beggar at work today. We've had a couple of people get cranky at us about prices before, but this lady was the first person to display the level of sheer bull-headedness that I feel really defines a Choosing Beggar. She came in around 1 o'clock p.m., slowly lumbering around the bakery, picking up and squinting at every product she could get her acrylics on. Her sights finally set upon our decorated cookies. She asked how much they were. I told her $4. The look on her face as she heard the price told me all I needed to know. This was about to be trouble.
$4?
She balked.
That's ridiculous!
I gave her the canned response we have about the fact that our ingredients are expensive because they're specialty, so it is what it is. She scoffed and rolled her eyes at me, and I just mentally thanked my insomnia for having kept me up late enough last night that I was too exhausted to feel the sort of rage that crap would have set off, usually. She scoured through the cookie display, digging about in scornful silence, before suddenly her eyes lit up, and she seized a single cookie from the back of the display, strutting up to the counter triumphantly and smacking it down before me.
This cookie is broken,
she proclaimed, and she was right. There was a big crack running right through the middle of it. Not a big deal. It happens sometimes. Oh, sorry about that, I said, not actually sorry. I can get you another one.
No!
She barked, cutting me off.
I want this one,
she said, pointing at the broken cookie the way one would point at something they're trying to show a toddler. Okay then, I replied, and by this point, I had a sneaking suspicion that I already knew exactly where this was going. But I pressed anyways, and there was nothing else to be done. That will be $4. She stared at me for a moment, her eyes narrowing before she pointed at the cookie again.
I said I want this one,
she repeated, even slower this time, really laying on thick the fact that she clearly thought I was some degree of stupid. Yes, I know, I said, because what the hell else was I gonna say?
But this one is broken,
she stressed, raising an eyebrow at me. As I said, I can get you another one if you want. One that isn't broken, I replied, a bit of anger finally starting to break through the dull haze that exhaustion had put me under.
And I said I wanted this one,
she said, clearly getting frustrated. That makes two of us, woman. Alright, that'll be $4. You can put your cart. She freaking cut me off again.
I'm not paying $4 for a broken cookie,
she snapped. Okay, then I'll get you a different one, I droned. I knew damn well what she was getting at, but I wasn't about to make it easy on her.
No,
she yelled, kind of getting up in my face at this point.
I want this cookie.
She jabbed it so hard she would have made another crack if one hadn't been there already. Okay, I said flatly. I can take your card whenever you're ready.
How much are you taking off?
She demanded. By this point, I'd had more than enough of her, and since playing dumb was really the only weapon I had at my disposal that wouldn't have gotten me fired, I decided to continue using it. I'm sorry? I asked, pretending to be confused.
Oh,
She cut herself off that time, huffing,
The cookie! How much are you taking off on the cookie?
I haven't taken anything off, I answered. It's $4.
But it's broken!
She stressed for what felt like the 768th goddamn time.
Can't I get some sort of discount?
Unfortunately, no, I replied, very much not meaning that first word. If being broken is an issue, then we could get you an unbroken one, but I know you said you wanted this one.
Is there someone else I could talk to?
She asked, her tone suddenly dripping with faux politeness of a Karen about to try some crap.
A manager, perhaps?
She stressed the word, raising an eyebrow at me as she did. The attempt at a threat was so gallingly obvious that I just about gave myself an aneurysm trying not to roll my eyes. My manager isn't in today.
Sorry,
I responded, making sure to use that same sickly sweet tone that she tried on me. She dropped the act quickly, her fake smile melting into a snarl as she realized her trump card had no effect.
I'm not paying $4 for a cookie!
She screeched. She didn't actually stomp her foot like a toddler, but the energy was very much the same. Okay, I said flatly, then very pointedly didn't say anything else, even as she stared at me, clearly still somehow hoping for a different answer. We stood there for several more seconds. She glared at me. I stared blankly over her shoulder at the bakery behind with a perhaps a bit over-the-top expression of utter indifference on my face. Finally, she seemed to realize I genuinely wasn't gonna budge, and with one last she rolled her eyes, tossed up her hands, and stormed out. I put the broken cookie back on the toss tray, where it was quickly snagged by one of our decorators. Suck it, Karen.
Oh, wait, the baby don't want to pay $4 for the cookie.
Guess what? I pay a ridiculous amount of money for food because I like food delivery and I'm lazy. So $4 for a cookie isn't crazy to me. I know, I'm wild. I cannot be tamed. Someone take my money away. I'm kidding though. The government already does that plenty. If I paid taxes. Al Capone, you're my hero. This story's called Woman Demands Free On-Site Tech Work for Another Outlet's Bad Experience. I've worked in end-user computer and electronic repair for my entire adult life, and about 10 years ago, my husband and I left our corporate jobs to start our own little repair shop. We are 2 people. We is small. A woman calls. I'm going to call her Mary. She's never been a customer of ours before and wants to know if we give free diagnostics. I tell her we do, and she wants to know how soon we could diagnose her computer that's running slow. This was Wednesday, mid-afternoon, and we have about 3 hours left until closing. I told her it'd probably be tomorrow, with so many people working with home and home educating right now. Our workload is very heavy, and it's difficult to guarantee a turnaround time. Tech support and electronic repair is crazy right now.
It's important. If I give you my address, you can stop by after you close.
I'm sorry, we don't have enough on staff to do on-site work at this time.
What do you mean?
I explained that there are only 2 employees here, and we can only do repairs in our office space. She has to bring it in. Side note, I have been a paraplegic due to a spinal injury since I was 13. I don't mention this because it's not an issue for my line of work in my office. I will not show up to someone's house that just has 3 stairs. It's a service we do not offer. That being one of the reasons.
What about my printers? I have a very old laser jet printer, and the other guys messed it all up. It took me 2 hours to fix it last time.
I'm sorry to hear that. I can't speak for other outlets or the work they do, but generally working on a computer doesn't alter a computer's connection to the printers unless you have a significant failure or need a reload.
Well, they did it, and I don't want to go through that again, so I need someone to come to the house.
I'm sorry. That's not a service we offer. Long pause.
So what am I supposed to bring? The box? The monitor? All the cables?
I'm really inconveniencing her here. No, just the tower, assuming she meant the desktop when she said box.
What do you mean tower? It's not a tower.
The computer, where everything plugs in. We don't need cables, just the computer.
What about my printer? If you mess up my printers, what will you do for me then? Will you come out and fix it if you mess it up?
Pausing, thinking of a strategic way to answer without being a jerk. I wouldn't have a solution for that. We do not do on-site work. Perhaps another outlet has a better solution for you?
But they don't do it for free.
Our diagnostics are free. We can give an estimate, but ultimately the cost of fix depends on the problem.
But you won't know the problem if you don't look at it.
No, I don't.
Well, then how long does it take?
We currently have about a 1-day turnaround time.
What? I have to leave it here?
We are at capacity. I don't have any open spots on the bench.
Then come to my house.
No. Then I went awkwardly silent. I was just gonna let her mentally blue screen for a while until her tantrum ended. Thursday, she pulls up in the handicap spot and calls to ask for someone to get the computer out of her vehicle. And I roll my little stoic ass out in a wheelchair and haul this big ass steel Castell out of her truck. It's Windows XP. She has hard drive failure. There's pretty much no support for anything her equipment's age, and she has no backups. I referred her to Drive Savers in California. We're in Ohio. Ha! It sounds like fun. That was really cool. OP and her husband left their corporate jobs to start literally a mom and pop shop, repair shop. That's really cool. Admirable and beautiful. This story story's called Our Free Holiday Gift Packages Weren't Good Enough. As we approach the holiday season, I remember a ChoosingBeggar experience that I want to share for my first post here. Tilde at the bottom. Sorry, type this in my phone. My parents had me in a lot of activities they thought would teach me valuable life lessons and skills. I was in team sports, church groups, and Boy Scouts. If you don't know, Boy Scouts is a social group for boys focused around outdoor activities like camping and hiking, as well as community service and self-improvement. Every holiday season, our Boy Scout group would sponsor a holiday food and gift drive for underprivileged families in the local community. We allowed any family to sign up that felt they could not afford to provide gifts or a meal to their families during the holidays. We would spend 2 months gathering donations of non-perishable food items and toys and gifts, and even received larger donations of turkeys and Christmas trees from local vendors. A week before the Christmas holiday, our Boy Scout group would get together with our own families and wrap the gifts and create custom care packages for each family on our list based on how many people and the age groups and genders of the children. We would then drive around the city and hand deliver these free holiday gift packages of a big bag of personalized wrapped gifts, a full holiday dinner, a week of groceries, and a Christmas tree. We were supposed to learn valuable lessons about giving and sacrifice. After only a few seasons, we had to stop doing it. While there were always a few families that really appreciated us and wouldn't have had a holiday without us, the large majority of the families that signed up for this were rude and ungrateful. Most houses we arrived at had a couple of cars parked in the driveway that were nicer than what we arrived in. When we got to the door, we were invited into living rooms already filled with tons of wrapped gifts surrounding a giant Christmas tree. They would scoff at the free 6-foot tree we brought and usually tell us to just leave it in the yard or often just take it away since it wasn't big enough. They'd complain about the type and amount of free groceries we delivered to their home for free. They'd complain about the actual size of the wrapped gifts we brought. We often went back to our vehicles with the entire free packages that the family signed up to receive because it wasn't what they wanted. The size of our group only allowed for us to help about 50 families a year, so every one of these ChoosingBeggars family took the opportunity away from someone that really needed it. They tried to reform the sign-up process, but we ended up having to scrap the program due to abuse that couldn't be stopped. The lesson learned at that impressionable young age was that people can really be buttholes sometimes. I agree, that sucks. See, that was a really heartwarming story, and I was really happy until, the beggariness shone through. I appreciate what you guys did, because Christmas is a beautiful thing. This story's called, He Was $25 Short on an Agreed Price. Got mad I wouldn't lower my price. It wasn't the brand he was looking for. I, 18 female, am moving out in a few days, and am listing stuff to get rid of for a few quick bucks. I was selling a bike on Facebook Marketplace. It's basically new and was only ridden a few times. It has a matching bike helmet and a portable bike pump. It was a gift. The bike alone is $170, not including the helmet or pump, which were like 20 bucks each. I listed it on Marketplace and in a few local buy-sell trade groups for $100, including the helmet and pump. Someone messaged me a few hours later. He's a guy in maybe his 30s, and we both agreed he'd pick it up in the morning. Well, he shows up, pays with cash, I count it, and it's only $75. I do a few recounts, and he goes to get the bike from the open garage to load in his truck. I tell him, hey, this is only $75 here if you want to count over it. Did you maybe miss a few bills in your pocket? He gives me kinda an irritated smile. He says, we can just do 75. I felt really anxious by that. No one else was home at the time, and I tend to be pretty timid when I could tell people are upset. But this time was different, and I felt really annoyed and pissed off. I said, hey, can you let go of the bike? We agreed on $100. I have the text. Lowest I'll go is $85, but you'd still be 10 short. At this point, $85 feels like I'm being robbed stupid. He lets go of the bike and it falls over, which was kinda lame. I could tell he was frustrated because he started to raise his voice a bit. He said, there's $75 there. I never wanted to go above $75. This isn't even the brand I'm looking for. It's a Huffy Cranbrook. I don't know what that is. I was was trying to stay calm. He was making me feel super anxious. I tried to tell him the brand name was in the listing's title, and it's on the bike in the pictures. I'm sorry it's not the right brand, but the bike is $100. He just goes on his phone while shaking his head and like grunting and stuff. I kinda just stood there awkwardly because I didn't know what to do. He shows me a picture on his phone of a bike. It's not even close to what I have. The bike I have is a boardwalk cruiser. He's showing me a mountain bike or some kind of BMX bike. I kinda stood there like, I gave him his money back. He thanked me for wasting his time before he left, and that was it. My first experience on Facebook Marketplace, and a real weird one. That's when you should have just given him $50 back. If he wants to withhold 25, you can withhold 25. And the money you steal from him, or no, take from him, would be, for him wasting your time, which he did, not you.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to never miss an episode.